Yesu no muyaro yo mindo Yesu no muyare ero ndero aikia baba ero ndero aikia baba alafu.
Welcome back. This is Kilimo Diaries, and where are we, Jaffe?
Of course tuko Lea's Farm hapa ni Ronga. Tunaambia by the way matza Ronga ni zi, lakini tuko Mary Show hapa kwa shamba ya Lea.
And we have learned everything about poultry management, and right about now we have our expert of the day taking us through the finer details of poultry management, and that is Marion Jiru. How are you?
I'm fine.
All right, I'm good. And we are joined by representatives from the Kenya National Farmers Federation, Enoch and Joanne. But before we engage them, Marion, we have checked out Lea's brooder, and when we were interviewing her, we saw that there's the ventilation. So how important is ventilation for poultry health, and what are the signs that you know there's bad air quality in our chicks?
For ventilation, you have to check it all the way from day 0, from the time when the chicks get into the farm, to the times when they are at the finisher phase going to slaughter. So if they are chicks, let's say week 1, week 2, they don't need that much air. Like you've seen her poultry house, she has closed the brooder to conserve the heat. But you still have to make room for a little bit of air to get in. So if chicks don't get enough air, they'll get water belly. People usually think that water belly is just for older birds, but if chicks lack air, they'll get water belly. They'll probably get a lot of respiratory issues. So we have to balance between the two.
All right.
Ah, beautiful. And of course, sisi tuko na maswali mob sana kama aspiring farmers. Lakini I'll go first, Mario, nikuulize swali. How do I identify the sick ones?
It's just like in human beings, right? There's the normal behavior that we have for chicken. It's supposed to be lively, it's supposed to eat, it's supposed to drink water. So if your birds are not feeding, and if your birds are not taking water, it should be a sign to you that there is a problem. So that is why, like Lea mentioned earlier, you're supposed to keep records.
Okay.
So part of record keeping is knowing how much and how many kgs of feed your birds eat a day, and how many liters of water they are supposed to consume.
Wow.
Yeah. And also if they're looking weak, lame, ruffled feathers, or there is diarrhea, either any color, red, green, white. So all those signs are supposed to tell you that something is not okay with your flock. In older birds, water belly can also be caused by overfeeding, because if you feed the bird, it will have to metabolize the feed, right? So the moment you increase the metabolism, you get a water belly case. So you have to check your feeding. So if it's too hot, you don't feed, because it won't be able to manage the heat from the environment and the metabolic heat, right? Yeah, and the other thing that farmers don't give is the dark hours when the birds are older. So that's still related to overfeeding, but you have to make sure that when your birds are older, at least they get 6 to 8 hours. 8 hours when they are just resting, and no feed, no water, they are just resting.
And you've touched on feeding, so I'm wondering, are there some supplements or additives that you would recommend, and under what condition would you recommend these additives?
If you're giving a good quality feed, you don't need to supplement.
All right.
Because the feed has everything that the chicken needs to grow and to maybe lay eggs, right? Sometimes there are feeds which have deficiencies, so a vet should be able to advise you what you will supplement with depending on the issue that you have. But as long as you have good quality feed, you don't need any supplementation. What I advise farmers is that if you're maybe transitioning from starter to grower or grower to finisher, so that you can also help the bird to metabolize that feed and reduce cases of heart attacks and water belly, you just give liver support.
What am I supposed to do? Just again, it can be shocking because this is an investment. Umetoa pesa bank loan, umekuja umerusha umesema naeka kuku. Nimekuwa excited. What are some of the steps I can take as an aspiring farmer? Zile kuna high mortality rates za kuku.
As a vet, I want a farmer who keeps records, number one. So mortality records are part of it, right? So per flock, you're not supposed to lose more than 4%. That's the acceptable rate of death, yeah? So if you're a farmer and you have like 500 birds, you should not lose more than 20. So you're not supposed to lose more than 1 bird a day, right? So as you keep those records, before we get to a lot of mortality, like 10, 20, immediately you see there like 2, you should alert a vet. But like we said earlier during our sessions, management is key. If you manage it well, unless there's a disease outbreak, you won't have mortality issues. Because things like suffocation, it's a management problem. Things like water belly is a management problem. Heart attacks are management problems.
We found these birds that when they're the age of 2 to 3 weeks, you may say that this bird they go large corn, whereby that bird goes on large corn, it cannot return back. They remain there, and then they form something like reddish in color. So what can be the cause?
The heart of a bird is very small, right? And broilers are modified to gain weight. So if you find a bird like at 21 days, it's 1.1, 1.2 kilograms, that heart is supposed to pump blood to all that body mass. So if you don't manage feeding well, or if you don't give it enough air, or if your house is overstocked, right, then you'll have that flip over problem. And if it gets to that stage, the only thing you can do is just look at those 3 factors.
Amazing. That's so much insight. And maybe the last question, how should we record keep?
Basic record keeping things that you're supposed to check your temperature during brooding, check your water intake, feeding, how many bags or how many kgs you give, mortality records, very important, vaccination dates. So you're supposed to know as per what your chick supplier has told you, what date you're supposed to give those chicks vaccines. And any antibiotic or supplements that you give, you're supposed to note them at the exact dates that you give those.
And of course niko na swali Marion, of course to benefit us sisi kama aspiring farmers na ule ambaye anatutizama right now ndani ya TV47. How am I supposed to properly dispose kuku ambao wamekufa?
You're supposed to either incinerate or dig a pit, most preferably 100 meters away from the poultry house, 6 feet deep. So that's where you're supposed to take all your mortalities.
Hata kama alikuwa amemachua nisikule. Ini Nairobi tusiharibu mboga. What could be the effects za probably mtu anakula kuku ambao wamemachua na wamekufa?
There is something we call zoonotic diseases, number 1. Those are diseases that can be transferred from animals or birds to humans. We're trying to avoid that. Things like salmonellosis, AI, such. And also, if you find that kuku amekufa, that means haja bleed. Part of the slaughter process is to bleed the chicken. And blood harbors a lot of bacteria. So if you eat a dead bird, alafu tena upate it's not properly cooked, then you'll be bringing problems to yourself.
Tusikule, to dispose, ndio? And of course, tuko na of course Enoch all the way from Kenya National Association of Farmers. Enoch, karibu sana. Kuku nimelea. What are some of the value additions zenye nitapata mimi kama mkulima na nimeingia KENAF?
The first benefit of joining KENAF is that capacity building and training is guaranteed to farmers who are joining. They will just learn the process. If they are poultry farmers, in this case, they will benefit in terms of learning generative agriculture. They will also benefit in terms of learning how to formulate feeds, homemade feeds. And in this case also, they will also benefit in terms of renewable energy uses at home. So most importantly, if a farmer joins right now, he will go through those stages from what is KENAF and at the end of the day, you learn more what KENAF does in terms of bringing value to the value chain he or she belongs to.
I think now we are ready to be excellent farmers.
Yeah.
Yes. So we could take the take homes
Yes.
from the aspiring farmers, what they have learned today and what they will implement in their farms.
Umejifunza nini ndugu yangu?
The standard of feeds, how to go about management ya filtration, because shida ya water peri nimelani ya kwamba right from the word go, if you don't do proper filtration, feeds vile unabadilisha na vile unaspare, they may at the end give you a real problem.
Mi nimejifunza, sikujua aloe vera na pilipili pia inaweza prevent some magonjwa. Alafu pia nikaona okay, hizo ni vitu zinapatikana hata kwa urahisi. So I've learned a lot.
Hii safari inaweza kuanza kwa uchache, then it will become a big thing. For example, is Leah grow her poultry farming to this level. Why? Because she decided to grow. Kwa hivyo hata kama wakulima, we can equally grow.
Vile unaanza from day 1, kuku vile unaanza kuzifuga until wiki 2, wiki 3, hiyo nimejifunza mengi.
Nimejifunza kwa vile unamonta mifugo yako. Hata nimejifunza leo kuweka hiyo, badala ya kuweka hiyo nini tumura, lakini utaweza change hiyo ya mchere, inakuwa mzuri sana na hiyo mnao soft maji haraka.
Kazi ya ukulima unaweza kujiajiri na kupata pesa ambayo inaweza kukusaidia.
Asante sana.
Nimejifunza umuhimu wa chakula kizuri na kuweka records zako vizuri.
It was so nice. Discover new feed, your backbone. So I'm going to try it.
Asante sana.
Proper disposal of the chicken other than taking them.
Na wewe mami umejifunza nini?
Nimejifunza mahali pale wanalala pakiwa wet. Hiyo wetness uskip isilete ugonjwa. Hasa kwa wale wadogo.
The youngest aspiring farmer. Bro, umejifunza nini?
You should not eat the kuku.
Yeah. Jaffe, I think now we can be good poultry farmers, you and I, yeah?
Oh yeah, you can say that again. I'm ready, niko tayari.
But thirdly, we are coming to a close on this episode.
But thanks to Leah, kwa sababu ametukaribisha kwa famu yake, have a good time. Asante sana to the aspiring farmers. Aspiring farmers, eh? Yeah. Aspiring farmers. Thanks of course to Kenya National Farmers Federation and thanks to Backbone Feeds Kenya Limited kwa sababu tumekuwa nao in a good way. Want to say thank you to you for watching.
And of course, stay tuned for more in our subsequent episodes. And who knows, we could be coming to a farm next to you. I am Sheila Chelangat.
And I'm MC Jaffe.
And of course, this is Kilimo Diaries, a show for the farmers.
By the farmers. With the farmers.
Kilimo Diaries, brought to you by Backbone Feeds Kenya Limited. To place your order, please call or WhatsApp us on 0710-822-222 or visit any of our distributors countrywide. Backbone Feeds, healthy broilers, happy farmers.